Good morning, friends. I hope everybody's doing well. This has been the hardest week of all, I think, for people who live in Massachusetts. I'm just saying a prayer for all my friends and loved ones, and I just want to let you know that I'm thinking of you. That's pretty much why I'm doing this show in the first place. Um, let's see. That first clip that you saw, that was of Eastern Point this past week. The light has been very beautiful and atmospheric on Cape Ann, and I took some footage of the Eastern Point Lighthouse as the fog was lifting, and it was just beautiful to see because one second everything was shrouded in fog, and then the next moment you could the sun was shining through. So and it went back and forth like that. It was really very beautiful and evocative light. I also wanted to show you this clip of a red-winged blackbird singing across the marsh, and also it was making a wonderful little chirping sound, because with red-winged blackbirds you don't often see the females. They're more of a subdued black and brown color, and with a little bit of rusty orange in there too. But they're often right there, lower down in the marsh, and because that's where they build their nest, is low down to the ground. So you're going to see that clip as well. And let's see, I'm still musing over the name of the show. There's Good News Cape Ann, Finding Hope, and then my friend Lauren Doucette suggested Beauty of Cape Ann, which I really like that as well. So I'm going to put that out there, and you can let me know what you think about that. I posted about the beautiful paintings of Lauren this week, not just her paintings, but her beautiful pastels as well. They're just so vibrant and full of life. And I was I've just enjoyed very much when her posts come up on Facebook or Instagram of her beautiful pastels. So I put a link to her website. She's a local Cape Ann, East Gloucester artist. So I think you'll really enjoy her paintings. Let's see. Also, I wanted to show you this wonderful gift certificate from Castaways. You can get these yourself, and I'll put the link on the show notes. Bianca Giacalone has a fantastic business downtown on Roger Street. You might have noticed the great big red heart. We're all in this together. And pretty soon she's going to have her online clothing up on her website as well. But right now you can get fresh fruit and vegetables delivered. And also you can get her wonderful coffees, fruit and yummy treat breakfast bowls. Let's see. She's just doing a really beautiful job trying to provide everybody with healthy fruits and vegetables during this Corona time. I keep forgetting to look up at the lens and keep looking at my notes, so sorry if I was not looking at the camera just then. Let's see. What did I see this morning that was so spectacular? Let's see. Cedar Waxwings, a whole flock of Cedar Waxwings, which was stunning. Let's see, a Baltimore Oriole, just one. Usually there's a little mini flock that comes to our garden, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. They usually arrive, Baltimore Orioles follow the blooming times of fruit trees, flowering fruit trees along the Atlantic Flyway. So And that's one reason why we're seeing fewer, because there's fewer and fewer flowering fruit trees. So if you want to help encourage Baltimore Orioles to come to your garden naturally, you can always put out the Oriole Feeders. But if you want them to come to your garden, they'll also they drink the sugar water also from hummingbird feeders as well. But I also saw a male hummingbird and several yellow-rumped warblers. So that was pretty exciting. That was all this morning. I was doing some things outside with Charlotte, and then I looked up and there was the flock of Cedar Waxwings, which was just, I don't usually see a whole flock here. I think about 20 years ago I saw a whole flock in our garden. So, but typically at this time of year I'm super busy planting clients' gardens, but since that's not happening this year, I'm getting to spend more time in my own yard and my own garden, and there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to doing this spring. Let's see, before I get too involved with wildlife, Fisherman's Wharf Gloucester, which everybody is just loving all the fabulous flounder and scallops and haddock. My son made an amazing Scallop Ceviche this week, and it was so delicious, and it was so summery, and I think I should put the recipe up. It's so easy, and it's perfect with these super fresh, big, giant, juicy sea scallops that we can get from Gloucester Fisherman's Wharf. Let's see. Oh, and also they're selling lobsters now as well, but they run out of those pretty quickly. So I think that they said they'd have another batch at the beginning of this week. So check in on Monday or Tuesday. Let's see. Okay. A lot of folks have been writing in with questions about hummingbirds and also about monarchs. So I'm going to try to cover both of those today. Let's see. I give a lecture on hummingbird gardens, and this is I'm just going to try to give you a quick version of the lecture. I don't know if you know this, but it's the hummingbird is Massachusetts' smallest breeding bird. So, but you would never see a hummingbird nest, ruby-throated hummingbird nest most likely. They're only the size of a walnut, and the eggs will look like two, like 8-millimeter pearls inside. They're tiny little eggs. They're beautiful. They're typically made out of lichen, which is just gorgeous. But if you want hummingbirds to come to your garden, in addition to, here, I brought this out from the yard. This is a little sticky right now because I'm already using it, but and I'm missing one of the little flowers that you can see. I can probably get a replacement, but maybe it's time to get a new one. But you can see how simple this is. This is very easy to clean. This particular one, you just unscrew this. So, it's ideal to have more than one hummingbird feeder around your yard, because if you have one, then they'll likely see the other one. But remember, the formula is 4 parts 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. Never add red food coloring. They can see the red from the red plastic. Let's see. I just have to check something here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Just wanted to, all of a sudden I got a little bit worried that I wasn't recording because I blocked it with the hummingbird information. Anyways, and never replace sugar for honey. That's a very bad idea as well. Honey ferments and it can make them sick. So the main thing, though, is if you want them to colonize your garden and build their little nests, and then hopefully see fledglings in the spring, later in the summer, here's what I suggest doing, and I do this with butterfly gardens as well. Is just knowing the right thing to plant, and you want to have a continuous array of blooms from early spring, from starting now until September, when the last ones are usually on the wing. The very first time we got hummingbirds in our garden was actually in September, and it was a female hummingbird. And I was sitting in my office, and I heard this little tweet, 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 little mousy type tweet squeak. And I did think it was a mouse, and I looked out my office window, and it was a hummingbird making that noise. And she was drinking nectar from cardinal climber, which is a plant that's a member of the morning glory family, but it's a wonderful climbing vine, and it blooms around the same time morning glories and moonflowers bloom. So it's beautiful red tubular flowers, and it was just wonderful to see. And then the following year, I started getting hummingbirds, and it was a female, actually, the first one. So I think that they returned to the same gardens, and perhaps she was scouting out our garden on her southward migration. So that's another reason why you might want to have a continuous array of blooming flowers. So let me just let you know some earlier blooming ones are our native. Well, first there's Japanese flowering quince. Kinomeles toyonoshiki is one that I love to plant. It has beautiful white flowers with a pink blush to it. Texas scarlet is the red one that you see everywhere. It's a very old-fashioned traditional shrub, but that is very attractive to hummingbirds. Let's see. Then going along in the season, you can have Lonicera Sempervirens, Dropmore scarlet, our native trumpet honeysuckle. It's also called coral vine, and that blooms in a beautiful array of yellow to orange to red flowers. Major Wheeler is the deep red one. John Clayton is a beautiful Spanish orange yellow. My favorite one is Dropmore scarlet, which is orangey red on the exterior with a Spanish orange in the interior. And that's all these native honeysuckle cultivars are very attractive to hummingbirds. Here's some more that you could plant: Lobelia cardinalis, Monarda didyma. Jacob Klein is probably the best bee balm. It's the straight species red, but Monarda didyma, hot lips, is also terrific. Salvia, pineapple sage, buddleias, catmint, jewelweed, trumpet vine, Tithonia rotundifolia, which is Mexican sunflower, zinnias, phlox, David, the straight white flowering phlox, Verbena bonariensis. Let's see, and so that will take you all the way through the summer. And then some late bloomers that I always have a patch of bougainvillea that's grown up throughout the summer, Diplademia, mandevilla. Let's see, all of these will bring, hibiscus, Gartenmeister fuchsia. These are all wonderful hummingbird attractants. Oh, pineapple sage, did I mention that already? So these will take you through August and September for the southward migrating hummingbirds, just like we do with monarchs and other species of butterflies. We want to have things blooming for them from when they first arrive all the way through the end of the end of the time that they're here. I think that is one reason why a lot of monarchs are in trouble, because, for instance, we had many monarchs here in our gardens last summer, but they were having a terrible drought in Texas. So by the time they migrated through Texas, there wasn't very much for them to nectar from. So we want to have nectar plants available for hummingbirds and butterflies during the entire growing season, which that's, let's see, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, I don't see anything that I missed. Okay, all right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was, so several people have written me this week about two monarch questions. One is, do I think it's a good idea to hand raise monarchs? And then the other question is, what about the controversy about planting butterfly bushes? So the first one I'm going to address. So there was a study that came out about, I guess about a year or two ago, which was very critical of rearing butterflies not in the wild. And I think that study was done primarily with butterflies that had been raised in butterfly farms, which oftentimes are not the most ideal conditions. Butterflies that are raised the way most of us who raise them at home, that butterflies that are raised in terrariums, placed outside on a sunny porch or in the deck where they're exposed to the ambient temperatures as well as the arc of the sunlight, will grow strong and be just as strong and just as able to migrate as hummingbirds that are, as monarchs that are raised out in the wild. The main thing is with monarchs that you raise at home, monarchs in the wild monarch eggs only have a 1 in 10 chance of surviving. Most of them are eaten by spiders. Monarchs that are raised indoors, and for example, in my little kitchen terrariums, they have a 10 in 10 chance of survival. I never lose caterpillars. Well, actually, that's not true. I did lose a couple last year at the very, very end of the year. I think it was just too late for them. So, that, I think I just want to put people's worries at ease that yes, it's wonderful to rear monarchs and just do it in very safe, clean conditions and make sure that they are exposed to the outdoor air temperature as well as the sunlight. Now, the next question that I received was, what about butterfly bushes? So a lot of, in some areas, butterfly bushes are considered invasive. Particularly in the Pacific Northwest, they're actually having a lot of trouble with them. That they grow, they reseed, and they are coming up everywhere. In our area of Cape Ann and New England and any area further north, I have the opposite problem. Mine don't, it's just hard to keep them alive year after year. So I think that, perhaps with global climate warming, we may have to revisit whether we want to plant butterfly bushes in our area or not. But for the time being, I think it's relatively safe. I have never, ever, in all the gardens that I've planted in Massachusetts and New England, haven't ever seen butterfly bushes just coming up by randomly in somewhere else that we did not plant it. They always have to be planted in our area. Perhaps other people have had a different experience with them. I think sometimes we have to be very thoughtful about what we consider invasive. So for example, at one point I went to see a speaker, I'm not going to name his name, but the talk that I went to was at the Arnold Arboretum, and the speaker was actually telling the folks at the Arnold Arboretum, which is just planted profusely with lilacs, that they had to get rid of their lilacs because lilacs are considered invasive. Well, lilacs have been in this country for over 400 years. They came here with the Jesuit missionaries. And actually, the second oldest stand of lilacs is at Strawberry Bank in New Hampshire. So what I just want to say about that is now butterflies, several species of Lepidoptera have become adapted to depositing their eggs on lilacs, and they've become a real part of New England. And in our particular area, lilacs are not invasive. Now, perhaps in areas further south, maybe in the mid-Atlantic states, they may be invasive, but we have not had that problem in this area. So I hope these comments were helpful. I know everybody's doing a lot of gardening right now, and I know I'm really looking forward to spending more time in my own garden. Finally, this year I will get to do that, so I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I know there were a couple more things I want to talk about. Let's see. I don't know if I posted something, let's see, this weekend about Jesse Cook, who's just a brilliant Canadian musician, flamenco guitarist, songwriter, just beautiful world music he plays. I don't really know the accurate name of the type of music that he plays, but anyway, he's such an awesome person. He allowed me to use 4 of his beautiful songs for my Monarch butterfly film. So, but I've always been a fan of his anyway, so I'm not just promoting his beautiful music because of that, but I wanted to let you know about this very cool thing that he did a couple weeks ago, where he sent out to his fans a request for them to sing this just really simple, beautiful melody, and he put it all together in a song and video called One World, One Voice. And I put the link up, I put a post up, and I'm also going to put the link up in this is episode 5 of Good News K-Ban. So just if you have a chance, listen to it. It's very beautiful, and he's also just an amazing filmmaker, director, producer, and he created the video for it as well. And then let's see, the last thing, I wanted to talk about what's going on with piping plovers in the field and what they're doing right now. The weather around here has been pretty cold and windy, so it's sort of slowed things down a little bit. I think piping plovers prefer more and are more active in warmer weather, warmer temperatures, but many have been here for over a month, and so I see the females acting a little slow, and I think, well, maybe they're full of eggs and they're just kind of waiting for the right time to lay the eggs. But I'm posting a little clip of a piping plover family that I've been following for a couple of years, and it's just very sweet. The dad is building little nest scrapes. What's unusual is he has 4 little nest scrapes right in a row, and the female's very fussy. She even decided to build one up in the same row, in the same line, but outside of his little areas. This footage was taken last year actually, but they're doing the same thing right now. So, but it's really nice footage because you can see how beautiful the male is when he fans out his feathers, and he digs a little nest scrape, and then he invites the female to come over and look at it, and while she's on her way over, he throws in little bits of shells or sticks or seaweed or whatever around. And then she decides whether she likes it. Oh, and also she checks out his cloaca, which is the little V-shaped vent that all birds have that eggs and sperm and poop come out of. So it's very sweet. And then hopefully, perhaps next week, I'll post the next stage, which is actual mating. Let's see. Well, that's all I wanted to say for now. I hope everybody's doing as well as can be expected. It's been a long time self-quarantine, and just hang in there, and happy cooking, happy gardening, and love to everybody. Okay, bye. I have these wonderful bandanas that I've been collecting to make baby quilts with, but look at this one. This one has bees on it. So nice to use my collection, sharing it with my family. But this, I don't recommend using this for, oh, who's this? Hi. Did you finish your olives? Who's this? Can you see yourself there, Shashi? You see yourself there? No, I think you're too low. Let's see. All right, can I tip it forward? Here we go. Oh, can you see yourself up there?
Can I watch the turkey one?
What do you want to watch?
The turkey one.
What's the turkey one?
Well, I want to watch the turkey movie.
Oh, you know what? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those turkeys that were out on Eastern Point. We're not going to look at that right now, okay? Let's go have some lunch. All right, I love you.